the bridal party. Because if I had my sisters, I had my two sisters who we always take care of each other. I had Miles's sister, who is now my sister, and I've got my good friend girl. So these are just four girls.
Okay, well, with that being said, one of the reasons that really stood out to me about our interview as we were going back and forth about what we're going to talk about is that we're talking about money now, right? Sticker shock, all those things. So before we get into how people can afford to have this luxurious wedding that they want to have, you don't have to give me the price, but besides your wedding dress, what was something that just gave you an extreme sticker shock that you were like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that?
Yes. Well, I would say the most expensive one thing, the biggest invoice. Oh, we was a little nervous about this invoice because our planner does do everything.
Okay.
He gives you a planner that do everything, so you don't have to have all those tiny invoices coming one after another. But since our planner did do everything, the design invoice was by far the biggest. So he does have a design minimum. So there is a wedding planning fee. I think his fee has gone up since our wedding. Everyone who's
I'm sure it has.
Everybody price went up, so that's good for them. But he like a fee of wedding planning, and I would strongly suggest this for every single bride. Maybe not this kind of planner, but everybody needs someone to manage things on day of at minimum. So he has the fee. Then he has the minimum. I believe his fee maybe $10,000 for a fee, which was a tough pill. But what we liked about his fee, it included like engagement, it included dinner, it included like everything that's a part of a wedding. Not trying to penny pinch us through the way. Right. Don't penny pinch me. And then the design minimum, which I now know is a minimum. When we first got on the call, he asked budget. I said, "Oh, well, I don't know. We don't have a budget because I don't know how much things cost. I can't put a budget on it because I don't know. Right. And I'm a business person, so if I tell you my budget, I know you're going to tell me something more. So you tell me what things cost." Right. He told me what one girl's wedding was that I really enjoyed that he had done recently. I said, "Ooh, okay. I think we can work that. I think we can work that over a year and a half. I think we can figure this out." Okay. So that's where we were initially moving towards. We were moving towards that budget, where we got maybe two or so more than that, times more. So it moved up quickly, fast, in a hurry. But that's when you accumulate everything. So his budget for design, everything adds up. The design for him would be the altar. It would be some flowers. It would be some. When we're getting into a circle, a fit configuration, we're getting into multiple chairs. We had couches, we had chairs, it was a lot of different details there. All of the floral arrangements, the flipping of the space for the reception, the outside, we had a hookah set up. So we're getting into all of these things. The design number, it was not as bad as I thought. The design number, I thought it was going to be exploded. I thought it was going to be 4 times more than his minimum. It was 3 times more, so that was still high. Okay. It was still high. But that one was a nice one. The biggest thing that gave me a sticker shock and that Miles and I really had to think about if we wanted drapes. We were flipping a room. We got married at the Cadillac garage place. This is not a place that I've ever seen a day in my life. Okay. Most of the stuff that we agreed to on the wedding, we agreed to on Zoom calls, on just regular calls, or just the planner saying, "Hey, y'all like this?" and us saying yes. So Cadillac Service Garage, Greensboro, North Carolina. I kept calling it Greensfuck. I've never been here before. I don't know what this place is. Right. What is this? I don't know. Where is this place? It's like 2 hours away. Why are we getting married here? But our planner does specialize in creating these luxury place events in very not normal places. Okay. Not New York, not Miami, they're in Greensfuck.
Because the venue cost will probably be cheaper
and more flexible with the vendor. So that was the thinking. So it's absolutely incredible, beautiful venue. Never would have seen it. Never would have went there.
To Greensfuck, no, because nobody's going to Greensfuck.
Nobody's going. I'm like, we live in the city, but whatever. So they find the venue. It's tall. Decide to have, and Demetrius, oh my God, on the first call, he's like, okay, yeah, I like to do mine. It's like a story. He doesn't mince his words, trying to, at least with us, trying to figure out how to get more money from us. That's how I felt about a lot of people with the wedding.
Okay.
He's trying to talk about wedding stuff and love and all this stuff to get us our feelings involved. He's like, nah,
It
we're
costs
gonna
what
make
it
a movie.
costs.
It costs what it
Yeah.
costs, so you pay
Yeah.
or not. But and he gives you options. We're gonna make a movie, and so how he thinks about a movie is like the beginning, the art, whatever. So the beginning of our wedding was a sneaker installation. My husband is a sneaker enthusiast of 20 years. We have a stock company called Miles
Okay.
5280 because his name is Miles, and 5280 because there are 5,280 steps in a mile. This is just something that we do for fun. We usually go to sneakers events. It's a lot of fun. It's how we, I feel like every Black couple always has a little side hustle.
Oh yeah,
Every couple
definitely.
that I know,
Yeah.
everybody always has a little something that they do, and it's really a lot of fun for us. So he said, when you come into the room, you'll see a huge sneaker installation. Everyone is going to be asked to bring their coolest, hypest, dopest sneakers, and they'll be able to put them up. They'll have cards in there with their name and tells them the table, but an entire sneaker installation. So that was like part one of the wedding. Then move to the ceremony where we get married in the middle of the room.
Right.
And then from there, move upstairs to the reception area. We have the live violinist. I didn't even go upstairs, but I heard it was crazy. I didn't even see it. So all these things, photo booth, that kind of stuff. And then leave out afterwards, have dancers come around from the backside, do an entire dance routine.
Okay.
We had 4 sessions to learn a dance for the wedding. I could talk about that, but it's mainly because I never danced before until I met my husband. And so, yeah, that was just really special to us. But anywho, so have the dancers come out, guide people outside with like fire and stuff. And then that's the fourth part. That's the hookah lounge. So when we finally got the invoice, okay, gulp. But the drapes, because we were flipping the room, they had a second part where the reception was. If we got the drapes, which were $10,000 for the drapes, that was alarming. $10,000 for the drapes to cover so no one could see the flip of the room. So flipping of the room is when they change it from like ceremony to reception, and you don't really want to bother the guests with seeing how things are done. You want to surprise them. So that was one of the biggest invoices and one of the most like sticker shock. And how bad do you want to keep up? How much do you want to hide from the people? And when it came to photos with the photographer, if we don't get the drapes, he has to shoot down. If not, you're going to see all of the exposed brick and all of the drama. If we get the drapes, he can shoot the entire room. So that was a big decision we had to make, drapes or no drapes. And that was closer to when the wedding came. Okay, that was closer to when the wedding came. I apologize. So that was kind of like a do it or don't.
Gotcha. So literally, you had to decide if you wanted to spend $10,000 just so that your guests would not see your room flip or not. That is sticker shock. That is extreme sticker shock, because that's one of those things where it's like, we could do without this and the day would be just, it's not like we're trying to determine the meal or something. It's literally drapes.
Literally drapes.
Literally drapes. Oh my God.
Drapes,
okay, so let's talk about the unique way. You are an entrepreneur, a hustler, you have got it out the mud, all those good things. So when you talk about who's paying for the wedding, it's 2023. Most people's parents are not paying for their weddings. That is really not a thing anymore. So tell us what you did. That was, I think this is the coolest thing. Tell us what you did to be able to afford these $10,000 drapes.
Not the $10,000 drapes. I think that Demetrius worked it out so we like had some drapes, but not all the drapes. So we didn't go forward with it, but we were able to make it look like we got it going on. So with the wedding, thinking about because our families are very humble. I didn't receive any graduation gifts. My husband did. I remember graduating, and then like my friends like, oh, my uncle sent me $100. I'm like, wait, somebody sent you money? I've never been given anything in my life. So that was that's a different concept to me too. Someone just giving you something because you have accomplished it. I personally have not received this. Where my family is from, yeah, I'm originally from Miami, so there's not a lot of extra money to be given around. That's just not how it is. I have my parents, and my parents are the best parents ever. They really taught us how to be entrepreneurs. My sister, also entrepreneur. We always owned our own company. My older sister owned her own law firm. So that is what we were taught. I was taught how to work really hard. So at 13, I got my first job with my dad. At 15, internship. 18, real estate license. 21, real estate company. So I've always worked really, really, really hard. And I pride myself on how hard I work. I work really hard. So when it came to the wedding, I thought, how can you get this? What's the point of a wedding? Oh, to give, so people can give you gifts. Really, that's what you want, I think. I think if we're being honest, you want people to give you gifts. And bigger in other cultures, Nigerian cultures, Indian cultures, like Middle Eastern cultures, they give money. They throw money and they give money. And they give lots of money. And the girls who I know from those cultures, they're like, yeah, how much money we spent on the wedding? We made that back. And that made me jealous. And then I was going back and forth with my little sister, who's my confidant. I was a little upset. I was like, damn, we're going to put together this wedding. And our culture does not put people on a good foot moving forward. When I think about wedding, when I gift to weddings or to anyone, it is, okay, you're starting a life together. You guys go start your life off together, the right way.
Right.
But I know from experience how we gift. We usually gift from, the food was good, I'm gonna give a little bit more. Or I could barely see the view, I'm gonna give a little bit less. If you have a birthday party with a friend girl, if you next to her, you feel the pressure, you send her a cash app with a decent amount. If you further in the back, you leave early, the cash app is a lot less. So we usually give on our impression of the event.
Right.
Yeah, we give it, so big idea of the wedding. How can we get people to give us more money? How can we get our guests to give us more money? How can I pull at the heartstrings and the purse strings of the people who are coming to our wedding so they can actually put some money towards this wedding? So we decided to do, because I'm an entrepreneur, gifts. We had 4 tiers of gifts. We put it together almost like, I apologize. We put it together almost like sponsorships.
Okay.
Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 and tier 4, I think tier 1 was cashmere socks. Since I do have a big social media platform, a lot of people said, hey Toni, how can we support you? So I gave people the opportunity to buy cashmere socks. Hey, we have a sock brand company, buy the cashmere socks. This is a great $15, I think, way for you to support our union. Then we've got like tier 2, which I think was candle. So it includes cashmere sock and candle, like what, $70 or something like this. Then we got tier 3. We were really trying to pull at the, people in our families who want to give a little bit more. Tier 3 might have been custom candle warmer, robe. The robe was really nice. And the stuff below, maybe $250. And I think the last tier included a figurine at $500. So in my head, I'm thinking how much I know people normally give you, $100. People really max out at the $100 max. I don't know what it is there. How can I get somebody to give us a little bit more? So even if they did buy a $500 tier, what we received from that, maybe $250, $200. So like double. But I like the idea of people having our stuff, wear our stuff. And most of the people bought our items and wore them to the wedding. So that was a big part of it. How we encourage people to get these items. We created a custom website. We put together our wedding story because a lot of the family members have never even met us before. The opposite one. So they read about our love. They felt connected to our love. We shared our love on social media so they can be a part of it and the entire process. And we sent out emails, 2 emails a week. Really did it like a campaign. Hey, make sure you get your wedding gift. And then what we did, which was special and I love, we called every single person who came to the wedding, who was coming to the wedding or signed up. Hey, are you coming? Are you excited? This is how you can support us, blah, blah, blah. Now, I tell you, it did not hit the way it was supposed to. We even did a raffle. So I have a lot of followers from my fitness account. So with my fitness account, I had a lot of people saying, hey, Toni, I want to pay you to come to your wedding. Because I would talk about it every day. I love talking about the wedding. And I said, well, okay, well, I think that would be a little gauche, a little tacky. Let's do a raffle. My husband buys sneakers, been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with sneakers, they will do raffles. They will do
Yes.
for a $10 raffle. Yeah. And then this could get you a raffle to a pair of sneakers. The sneakers that he wore to the wedding are worth a couple $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
He won them in a raffle for like
Okay.
the $20 he paid for the raffle. And these
Right.
are like really grail sneakers he has. So when I got with him, I started learning more about the sneaker culture and the raffles. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a raffle, maybe $10, $15 to include coming to our wedding, flight, hotel, 3-day
Oh.
weekend. It was going to be cool. I would say about a total of 10 to 20 people entered the raffle.
Mm.
So while I had this big like marketing
Right.
idea of how it could really work, the reality was the wedding wasn't as now the wedding is what the wedding is. Everyone knows
Right.
it. But
Right.
before, people would ask about it, but I had like one girl who entered the raffle like 6 times. She really wanted to come.
She
But
wanted
that's
to
not a
come.
fair raffle. That's not a fair raffle. So we
Right.
refunded everyone who entered our raffle because it wasn't enough buzz and it really
Right.
didn't create enough. So I'm talking all about this wedding, but the wedding website. But the reality is, it didn't make that much money. It was
Okay.
so many great marketing ideas,
Right.
and it did make a fair amount of money, but compared to what we spent, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It
Right.
didn't make anything near what we spent on the wedding. So how we just paid for it was by working. I think I was working. I go on live every single day, and I help people lose fat and build muscle, right?
Okay.
So I would go on live for maybe 5, 6, 7 hours a day, lose my voice every single day, losing my voice. But that's just the kind of person I am. If I have a goal, or if there's certain times of the year. So I've been into fitness for about 3, 4 years. There's certain
Mm-hmm.
times of the year that are a little bit more um, better for fitness or whatever. So we just get up there and we just grind it out. We sell a lot of products. So aside from going live, I would really do like telethons, almost like telethons
Okay.
of selling products like infomercials. So that's my business model, which is very helpful or whatever. But I was doing a lot of telethons.
Mm.
I'm like, hey, and it was fun, and so it helped create a better business model for the business. But when it came to the wedding, how many hours can you work?
I
How many?
mean, yeah, and so with that being said, your advice to people is get a side hustle or a
Absolutely. What the wedding did pay, what the wedding website did pay for, even though it did not pay for the wedding.
mm-hmm.
Um, but what it did pay for was a lot of great stuff. It paid for a lot of great stuff that made the wedding better. Some things that we would have probably not done. Lauren, um, Lador Enterprises. She
Okay.
was the content creator for the wedding. The wedding website paid for her. She
Okay.
came and she did content creation for the wedding, which 3-day weekend. She was there all 3 days. She did the rehearsal dinner, which went viral. She did
Mm-hmm.
the wedding, and then she did a day after brunch. Her services invaluable because I'm a content creator, but also I'm someone who I want to see what everyone else at my wedding is doing.
Yeah.
When you're having a wedding, you can't see nothing.
Right.
You're hidden. No one can see you in the dress. Before you're the main character, so you
Right.
can't see what everyone else is doing. So what I found that most brides after their wedding, they say, "Hey, anybody who saw me at the altar, send me your photo.
Right.
Everybody repost. Everyone tag me." This desperation to see what the wedding looked like from the outside
Right.
eyes. I didn't want that. I want to know what the wedding looked like. What's tea? So
Right. Right.
we
Right.
hired Lauren to film, to share the wedding with our social media platform, especially. But for us, she's gotten so much great content that I could have for a lifetime, and also that created another stream of income. Uh, Being on a TikTok platform and being a creator up there, you make money from posting videos. Now, how much
Mm-hmm.
money I make from posting videos on average? Little to no money. I mean,
Okay.
I can post videos and go on live. Like if I go on live, I make a couple of cents, 7 cents, 25 cents. You don't make money from posting unless you get really viral content. So I don't normally get viral content. Lauren's on the page, and for the first time ever, we make thousands, a couple
Mm.
thousands on from TikTok from the
Right.
post that she has created. So
Right.
not only did the wedding website generate, but it allowed us to have someone like Lauren, which allowed us to create another stream of income. And so that's where we are right now. Post wedding is before this, I was not an influencer. I was someone who was on the internet. I've
Okay.
never had a brand deal or anything like that. Now, since the wedding has gone viral, this has opened up the opportunity to maybe become an influencer, maybe do some
Okay.
branding, and see about that. So that was a great move too. That was Lauren, chef's kiss.
Well, as we get ready to start wrapping up, with
Yes,
all the greatness that comes from,
yes.
having this wedding and all that, how have the negative comments, if any, affected you? Because
I would,
everybody has an opinion, right? The chicken dry, they look like they did this. People love to count other people's coins.
yes,
Like, they love to say, well, the money they spent on this, they don't even own a home. I
yes,
saw a post you did about, I own properties. I may not
yes,
own my dream home, sis, but
yes,
first of all, get out of my pocket. But how
yeah.
have how have you handled the negative comments that people have posted?
Yeah, I would say when the first wedding invitation went viral, which was just a fluke. It wasn't even it was just something we wanted to do special for our family members. People were like, "Oh my God, you spent this on a wedding invitation," houses, and we own properties, both Miles and I. I try to share some of this, but that's not new.
Mhm.
When you are a Black creator, and that's why I don't like to talk about how much it costs. When I was walking through this process, watching brides, I could see the white creators go to Lake Como, say openly, "I spent two hundred
Yep.
thousand on
Oh
this
yeah.
wedding," and then the most regular people you've ever met, they don't have, Chris. I think Chris Rock said it, or who was that comedian who was like, his next door neighbor who lives in a mansion is a dentist.
Mm.
Chris Rock or whoever the comedian is like the number one comedian in the world.
Right. Right.
And I can live. The dentist doesn't have to be the number one dentist. He's just a
Right.
dentist, and he
Right.
gets to live this extravagant, extremely beautiful life. But when we're Black, we often have to be like the
Beyonce.
Beyonce just to afford a wedding. So when I'm watching, my white counterparts and the influencers, they're the most regular people. They don't have to be famous. They're just regular people. Regular people who get to have a Lake Como $200,000 wedding. That's
Right.
what they get to have. So when it came to our wedding, we wanted to put together something that was so beautiful, so well thought out, so incredible as regular people.
Mm-hmm.
Regular. We're the most regular people you have ever met. My husband works at nuclear. He works kind of like Homer Simpson. That's the kind of job he has.
Okay.
Like Homer Simpson, he works at a nuclear plant.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have followers online, but I don't make money from influencing. I'm not an
Right.
influencer. I get it. This is the most regular you could get, I would say. So when our wedding went viral, people thought we were famous. And that kind of
Mm.
bothered me because every single day for 3 years, I posted my life on TikTok. I post what I eat. I post my regular ass existence. I post, ain't nothing fancy. I wake up at 3 a.m. every single morning. I'm very dedicated to my
Mm-hmm.
life. So I post my regular ass life.
Right.
The wedding, which is not a big wedding, not an extravagant wedding, but a very detailed wedding. It was a lot of
Correct.
detail. People, it was so detailed that people assume you must be a celebrity to have this level of, because we're Black. The white girl could have
Right.
had it and she's regular. I saw so many things. Someone was like, only famous people went to her wedding. What?
My cousin Sarah was up in here. Aunt
Yeah,
Susie was here.
yes. Like, our family is from Miami. We are from the Ball Hogs. Miles'
Yeah.
family is from, I mean, his family is from St. Stephen's, which is like this big.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in his family live on the same damn road. This is how big his family is.
Right.
So I think when people saw the wedding, the opposite happened. I wanted people to realize, Black people to realize, you could have a beautiful, well thought out, curated, fucking perfect looking wedding and be regular at the same damn time, y'all.
Right.
This how we
Right.
did it. I told you everything we did to do it. I was so transparent with the process.
Yeah, you
But
were.
instead, people decided that, like, oh no, you are famous and it's not fair. And I hate that, because what we did do with this wedding, we created an all Black wedding. Every single thing in this wedding was Black, even down to the wardrobe for the entire week that I wore.
Mm-hmm.
Laquan Smith, Hanifa. I wanted to be like Sophia Richie, who could talk about it. Or,
Right.
our wedding was sponsored. It was not. No one paid
Right.
for anything with the wedding. I wanted to be able to talk about these aspects. When we chose the alcohol for the wedding, we only went with Black owned brands. It was just the
Mm.
Blackest wedding I've ever seen. Every
Right.
single vendor, Black, 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 Black.
Right.
And that was for the entire wedding weekend. And we wanted to show Black people, and I hope, and I think we did. And the response that I get in real life is that we did, but we did want to have something that was Black for Black people to be like, yeah, nah, we ate that.
Yeah.
And we ate that. But then even I think this is the first podcast I'm doing that's Black. The
Right.
publications that have reached out to me, there is another one that reached out to me. They're white. When I
Yeah.
talk to the white people, they don't ask me about costs. They don't. Insider did a huge article, two of
Mm-hmm.
them on this. It was very beautiful. Not one time did they talk about the money, because the white people don't have to talk about money.
Right.
When you know, but every other place I'm getting people asking about something as trivial as how much the fake money we got cost. The fake money was a couple $100s. That
Yeah.
was it. It's not a big enough deal to worry about. But I think because we're Black people, want to have it be something deeper than just a nice wedding. It was just
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And of course, well, I did fly out my wedding dress designer. I can't hold that. But it
Right.
was
Right.
cheaper for her to come here because she does do business in America than it was for me to go there.
Back there. Right.
So
Because we're no
it was
longer in the pandemic anymore, and the price has flying
yeah, the
has
price
gone up.
was
Yeah.
astronomical, and she has business over here. So it was just a couple more dollars for her to drop the dress off, and for this, for the kind of dress that she knew she was creating, and of course for her business, it made more sense for her to come put this dress on because it did, help everyone's business. So
Right.
because I chose such a extreme dress, it was just more cost effective for everyone to kind of be a part of it. Yeah.
Right.
So the negativity online, minimal compared to all of the positivity. But what I
Good.
would like people to get from it, especially people who look like me, is that we can put together some stuff that is just so beautiful. So
Yeah.
beautiful. We can do it. We can do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I really wish, like, I love what you said about, insider not asking about the money. Because I wish it was a situation where in the Black community, money was able to be talked about in a way that wasn't, I'm bragging, I'm boasting, I am trying to flaunt my wealth in front of you. Because I literally watch TikToks where brides are like, let's break down what I spent on my wedding.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I spent $40,000 on floral. And people are just eating up this
Yeah.
type of content. But when it comes to Black creators, it is a situation where it's like, well, I don't really want to say like what I spent, because the
Mm,
backlash of the judgment of, you could have done XYZ with
yeah.
this money instead of doing what you did. So why should I have to do something different with my wedding and my money than the next person did? And
And I
so
would have loved to. I would have loved to do a price
yeah,
breakdown. And initially, when we were moving into it, before the wedding invitations went viral, I wanted to be transparent as hell about the
right,
pricing.
right,
But then once the wedding invitations went viral, which cost less than regular wedding invitations, they're
hmm,
just nicer. They're just nicer. They were
right,
nicer. But that's because of like the vendors we use, and I share every single vendor. I did want to price breakdown, but when the wedding invitations went viral and people started saying, well, instead of that, you should have gotten a great honeymoon instead. We went on Europe for
you
almost a month. It's
you
not this
saw
or that.
Beyonce and
Yeah, we saw
I mean,
Beyonce on stage.
literally,
Yeah,
like,
but in our community, it always feels like this or that,
yeah,
feast or
right,
famine.
yeah,
When really it's just consistency. So no price breakdown for me, but Lordy, I would have loved to do. I would have loved to do it.
right. Okay, well, I think I absolutely love that, and I have loved interviewing you. My
Thank you.
last question for you is, what advice do you have for brides that are planning their wedding right now? Somebody's listening to this and they're like, I don't know where to start. What's step one?
What is the point of your wedding? What is the point? Tim Ferriss, who is a guru of mine, who I love to listen to, talks about, some people will walk up to him and say, Tim, I want to create a business. I want to be a millionaire so badly. And he'll say, why? Like, why do you want to be a billionaire? Oh, so I can retire on a beach somewhere. And he'll say, well, I can get you retired on a beach with no money in like 2 days. I mean,
Mm,
there are a bunch of beaches you can
right,
live on with minimum money. If your
right,
goal is to be retired on a beach, you don't have to go through the stress of becoming an entrepreneur and a
yeah,
millionaire to do so. You can get there a lot faster. So what is the point of your wedding? What is the point of it? What's the point? And then maybe that can save you some money. If the point of your wedding is just to get married, go to the courthouse. We can save a
right,
lot of time and money. If the point of your wedding is like our wedding to say thank you to our parents and our grandparents. Okay, so how do you say thank you to them a little bit louder and a little bit faster? If your point of your wedding is to go viral, and that's a good point. Don't, no shade, no tea. That could
At
be a
all.
point of your wedding. That could
Yes.
be a point because
Get into
bride,
it.
yeah, people feel bad about that, but truly, the love is going to be the love. If you want to go viral with your wedding, what are things that you can do to go viral? And
Right.
so if you figure out what is the point of it all, and then how is the fastest way to get to that point? The point of our wedding was not to go viral, but also it was for more exposure. More exposure for my business is always
Right.
positive. So if we want more exposure, what kind of content can we create around this? So the content we created around this was very, hey, you're with me. You are with me. We're going to walk through this. When I was doing a lot of the wedding content, because I have a fitness business, a lot of my wedding content was surrounded about budgeting, on diet, and on money. So I can talk about the wedding while talking about food. And then people could say, well, hey, hold on. How are you getting to your dream body for your wedding dress? Well,
Right.
this is hot. This is the
Right.
product that I sell. So if that was our point, that's how we got there faster. Now I can create content that can help me sell more plans, that can help me,
Yeah.
put more money to this wedding. So what is the point of your wedding? Figure it out. And it gets to that point a lot faster.
Well, I think that is great. That is some great advice. And I'm sure that the people listening are going to be like, okay, let me figure out what is the point. If my point is to stunt on these hoes, okay,
Oh,
because
yeah.
hoes and money cause you everything to fall apart, right? So then what can I do to get there? I think that is amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Please,
you.
please, please tell everybody where they can follow you. And if you're watching this on the internet, I will have that listed below. So tell us where we
Yes.
can follow you.
I'm Newly Norton. You can follow our couples page at Newly Norton on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. I think maybe we're gonna start vlogging. Who knows? Uh, so you can follow us there. And if you want to learn more about how to change your relationship with food, you can find my other pages through that page.
Okay, perfect. Well, enjoy. And that view behind you has been gorgeous this entire
Oh,
time. I
thank you.
so appreciate you being my very first guest on Wedding to Wife,
Yes.
where we talk to real brides about their wedding day experience and they break down what their experience was like so that you can learn from the things that they've done so that you can have a successful day as well. And so I really appreciate you, Toni, for coming by, and we will see you guys next time.
Okay. Bye to